Problem 4, this is problem 4 in Connect. It's exercise 9.4 in your text. Gives us some facts about this company that takes scenic flights over Mount Helena, the volcano in Washington State. Anyhow, here's their data, and I need you to remember that when we compare the flexible budget to the planning budget, so when we compare this to this, so when we compare the flexible budget to the planning budget, that gives us activity variances, which I don't seem to be able to spell right now. And when we compare the flexed budget to the actual results to this, we get revenue and spending variances. The green variances are caused by changes in costs, in revenue. We made more money, we made less money. That's what causes those changes. The orange changes, the difference between the flex budget and the planning budget, are just activity variances. If we do more, we're probably going to make more. If we do less, we're probably going to make less. So what I did is I took this information that your textbook cleverly gave you in a completely useless fashion and redid it so that it made some sense. So let's do the activity budget first, simply because I feel like it. And I'm the old guy, so I get to pick. And we're going to compare the flex budget with the planning budget. Now, we don't need to do this, but keep in mind that we'd had 2 less flights. So we did less flights, so we would expect to have unfavorable variances with regard to revenue and favorable variances with regard to expenses. If we do less, we're going to make less, but unless something's kind of weird, we're also going to spend less. So when we compare 15,360 to 600, or 16,000, excuse me, the activity variance is $640. We made $640 less than we planned for. That's unfavorable. Now let's take a look at some of our spending, our expense variances. We'd planned to spend $8,100. We actually spent, when the budget was flexed, it went to $79.36. So that's $164 less. That's a favorable variance. Same thing, the planning budget was $1,150. When we flexed the budget from 50 down to 48, we expected to spend $1,104. That's 46. That's variable. Okay, now keep in mind that this is what we planned for. This is when we stepped down our estimate from 50 to 48. We didn't make any of these dollars yet. We don't make any of these dollars yet. It's not until we get over here that we're talking about real dollars. This is just monopoly money over here. And again, our planning budget at 50 flights was $25,550 for fees. We only had 48 flights, so that was $24.74. So again, that's a $300 or a $14. Yeah, what the hell am I doing? Sorry, $76. And that's favorable. We expected to spend $76 less. We don't know if we did or not. We expected that we would. We expected that we would spend less for depreciation for the aircraft of $14. And altogether we expected to spend $4 less for other office expenses. We expected $290. We flexed it down to 48 flights instead of 50 flights. It's $4 less. That's favorable. So our total expenses we expected at 50 flights, $12,440. When we flexed it down to 48 flights, it was $12,136. That's a $304, and that's a favorable variance. And we expected to make $35,60, but when we flexed it down, we expected to make $32,224. That's $336, unfavorable. Keep in mind, this is all funny money. This is not real dollars. Now we're going to talk about real dollars, where we look at the actual results and we're going to compare them to the flexed budget at that actual results. And now we're going to come up with some real live variances, some spending and revenue variances. So, at 48 flights, we expected to make $15,360. We actually had 48 flights. We made $13,650. That's $17,10. Unfavorable. You're going to your boss and say, Mary, we made $1,700 less last month. Not likely to make her happy. Now we're going to take a look at our wages and salaries. At 48 flights, we expected to spend $79.36. We actually spent $84.30. That's $494 more. Unfavorable. Okay? So I need you to realize you can't do that plus minus thing. Because this is a minus number and this is unfavorable. This is a plus number and this is unfavorable. You have to think, will this information make my boss happy or unhappy? At 48 flights, we expected to spend $1,104 for fuel. However, at the 48 flights, we spent $1,260. That's $156 more. That's unfavorable. Now, our airport fees, we expected to spend $24.74. We spent $23.50. So our airport fees are $124 less, and that's favorable. Our aircraft depreciation, it's a little hard for that to vary. It's neither favorable nor unfavorable. Our office expenses. For 48 flights, we expected to spend $286 for office expenses. That's what we expected to spend for 48. We actually flew 48 and we spent $460. That's $175 more. That's unfavorable. So our total expenses, we expected to spend $12,136 for 48 flights. We actually spent $12,836 for 48 flights. That's $700 more. That's unfavorable. And our net operating income We expected for 48 flights to make 3,224. We actually made 814 for the 48 flights. That's 2410 unfavorable. Now, the book then says, well, you're the manager. What things do you want to talk about? Well, the activity variance of being 336 less, you would expect that. You flew less flights. The 2410, I would be concerned about, especially if it happened again next month. The small variances, I don't think I'd give a whole hell of a lot about. I really wouldn't care. But I would keep an eye on it, okay? How come our revenue variance was so big and so unfavorable? Are we letting people ride for free? Are we giving away too many coupons? So with managerial accounting, all of those numbers, everything in here, gives you the basis for asking good questions of your management. It doesn't give you answers. That's what your managers are for.